Thanks for joining us again. Today's session is going to be slightly different structure to normal. Unfortunately, you won't have a guest speaker, and you have to put up with me for the whole session. What I'm hoping to do is to go over some of the topics that I've covered previously and provide some news and updates on those products. So any new information we've got, we can share with you. Okay, let's get started. So most, if not all of you, have a Microsoft 365 plan. Either the base A3 product, which gives you Office, Windows, and EMS, or you have the A5 plan, which gives additional reporting functionality, the phone system within Teams, and additional security features. Okay, what you can see from the slide, there is a very subtle change here, and that is that Intune has changed its name. Intune is now called Intune P1. Very inventive of Microsoft, but there we are. It's the exact same product that you already have, so there's no change, it's just a change in name. It's available to anybody with A3 or A5 for your staff and your students. But the reason for the name change is that Microsoft have introduced some additional premium features for Intune. We have touched on this in the previous webinar, but I would like to add now some more detail into what these premium features are. So if we look at these, firstly, there's endpoint privilege management, which allows you to provide just-in-time admin access to users on their Windows devices. This means you can tie down user devices without giving them local admin privileges. This allows you to comply with policies such as Cyber Essentials. But what you can do now is you can use Intune to give users local admin privileges on request for a limited amount of time while they install new software or update drivers, etc. At the end of that allocated time, their raised privilege is revoked and you're back to a safe device on your network. Then there's remote help. This allows your help desk technicians to provide secure remote assistance to your users, like TeamViewer does. Role-based access control, or RBAC, then allows you to control if a technician can just view the user's device to allow for the end user guidance or training, or you can give the technicians full control of the end user device for configuration and troubleshooting depending on the requirements. Remote help is dependent on Azure AD, so you can only manage staff and students that are in your Office 365 tenancy. Because of Azure AD, it also allows the functionality of conditional access. So you can require multi-factor authentication as part of the remote help instance. And you can also get device compliance warnings for your technicians before they assist the users. It doesn't stop you assisting the users, but it makes you aware that there may be issues in terms of compliance on that device. Next, we got Microsoft Tunnel for MAM. Intune includes a feature called the Tunnel VPN Gateway. This allows secure access to on-premise apps and files from iOS and Android enterprise devices. Tunnel for MAM, or Mobile Application Management, as MAM stands for, builds on this functionality again allowing iOS and Android devices secure access to your resources. But this time, those devices don't need to be enrolled within Intune. So this is very useful for BYOD scenarios, or bring your own device, where you do not want the IT department to have control over personal devices. Then there's specialized device management. Specialized device management gives Intune the ability to manage devices you wouldn't traditionally associate with Intune, such as some augmented reality and virtual reality headsets, as well as some large screen devices and some conference room meeting devices. The devices that Intune can support are published in the Intune supported list. Finally, we've got advanced endpoint analytics. This allows better analytics of your device data with features such as custom device scopes, which allows you to tag devices so that you can group them when you're doing analysis. And it also includes anomaly detection. Now, this creates reports on issues that occur on your devices. And when there's a set percentage of devices showing the same issue, you can be made aware of the issue, and then you can sort it out before your establishment becomes aware that it is an issue. So these Intune add-ons, they're premium add-ons, so are not included in your A3 or A5 license. As you can see from the table, there are several ways you can obtain these features, depending on your requirements. So there's the full Intune suite, which contains all the features. Then there's Intune Plan 2. This includes Tunnel for MAM and specialized device management. Then finally, privileged management for your endpoints and remote help are available as standalone products. All these products are per user licenses and available at additional cost in the campus agreement. However, there is some good news, and that is that remote help is free of charge to education and will be coming to your tenancies if it is not already there. So if you have a look in the Intune Admin Center to see if remote help is there, then you can enable the functionality and start using it. So that's some good news from Microsoft. Some other pieces of news from last month's Microsoft Secure event is that later this year, some more functionality will be added to the suite. This includes cloud certificate management, so that you can provide a secure solution for authentication and Wi-Fi scenarios, as well as advanced application management for an enterprise catalog. Okay, so that's the Intune add-ons. Next, we've got Defender. So some of you will have used some or all of the Defender products. Now, Defender is Microsoft branding for its security products. So it's a suite of products and not a single product. Now, A3 includes Exchange Online Protection. So does A1, to be honest. And this is email anti-spam and anti-malware for your email. And then you have Defender for Endpoint P1. This gives modern antivirus for your users with functionality such as zero-day threat protection and anti-ransomware. So that's A3. A5 then introduces a whole host of additional security functionality. So there's Defender for Office 365. This adds anti-phishing to Exchange Online Protection as well as Safe Docs, which is a sandbox for checking attachments for dangerous payloads, Safe Links that redirect hyperlinks you click back through Exchange Online Protection every time. So they are clicked, so then you're ensuring that the web destination is safe to access. It also includes threat intelligence on the latest emails you've got in the wild. Defender for Endpoint P2 then builds on the functionality of P1. It adds enterprise functionalities such as vulnerability management to provide visibility of any weaknesses on your devices. It also includes EDR and threat hunting for investigating security issues. And again, it includes the latest threat intelligence information for your devices. Defender for Identity then allows you to investigate compromised identities and advanced threats based on your network, based on a behavioral analysis of your domain controllers. Then finally in A5, you have Defender for Cloud Apps. It's a cloud access security or CASB solution. It provides you with visibility of third-party cloud apps, such as Facebook, that users are accessing on your network. On top of that, it allows you to then use conditional access on these apps, such as blocking confidential files from being saved to Dropbox or any other cloud storage you deem out of bounds. So these products can be added as point products to A3, as well as being available in A5. And there is also a bundle of security products available at a cheaper price point than the full A suite. No new functionality, but it's a suite of all the security products. However, this is not the full picture when it comes to Defender. There is also Defender for Cloud, which is a multi-cloud solution which provides protection for things like containers, virtual machines, and storage, not only in Azure, but on premises and in other clouds such as AWS. Also in Azure, there's Microsoft Sentinel. Now, Microsoft Sentinel is their SIEM solution, and this takes security signals not only from your Defender products, but from network devices such as firewalls and routers to give you a central repository for viewing and checking for issues within your network. Again, at the recent Microsoft Secure event last month, a host of new features were announced, but maybe the highlights are a central console for a single pane of glass for all your Defender products. SIEM connectors for Sentinel, which allows you to connect to SAP and get information from there, and the ability to bring threat intelligence information into your SIEM portal. Then Defender for Cloud Security Posture Management now is in general availability. So again, it's available in Azure. And what this gives you is multi-cloud visibility of vulnerabilities across your estate. So it will show you vulnerabilities in AWS as well as in Azure and on-premise. And then finally, Microsoft have introduced a security incident response service. What this does, it offers direct support from Microsoft engineers when you have a security event. It helps you to clean and bring your servers and desktops back online safely after an incident. The way this is available is via a retainer. And then, so you purchase 150 or 300 hour chunks of incidents from Microsoft. Okay, if you haven't used those incidents, it will give you it will give you the ability for some proactive work as well as responsive work. Because of the way it's structured, it probably is of interest to some of you larger organizations at this stage. Basically, it doesn't come cheap because security engineers cost a lot of money. Okay, then there's Purview. So what is Purview? So Purview, again, is a brand name from Microsoft. It's the branding they have for their data governance solutions. It's not a single product again, and as you can see highlighted in the slides, it's based on several products. So A3 introduces data governance in Azure. It gives you email encryptions and write management services, allowing you to block printing or forwarding of sensitive emails. It also includes sensitivity labels that let you manually tag or label documents based on your requirements for GDPR, etc. A5 then includes Azure Information Protection P2. This allows you to automate the tagging of your documents, sensitivity labels really, so you can automate them so that they're automatically put onto documents based on things like keywords, word patterns, or document templates. It also includes e-discovery functionalities to search your email, documents, and files and devices for legal and audit purposes. Insider risk management then adds data loss prevention policies for your emails and documents, ensuring that sensitive information isn't leaked from your organization deliberately or accidentally. It also includes communications compliance, and this helps ensure that no inappropriate behavior or language is carried out, for instance, in Teams chat. The point products, like in Defender, can be added to an A3 subscription, or again are available as a bundle at a cheaper price. As with Defender, there is additional functionality available. So again, at an additional cost, things like Microsoft Privia, not Purview, but Privia, and that gives you subject rights request assistance with requests for users and the public for what data your organization holds on that individual. Then some of the latest news from last month's event is that there is now an unified Purview portal for all your government's requirements. There's Purview Adaptive Protection. This tailors your data loss protection policies based on how risky an user's behavior is on your network, and additional DLP support for virtual environments like Citrix, Windows, Virtual Desktop, and Hyper-V. And it also now includes support for remote or mapped drives. So that is an introduction to Purview. Teams rooms. So Teams rooms, they are a space for Microsoft meetings and have Teams certified equipment such as cameras, speakers, microphones, large screens, and touchscreen Teams devices for joining meetings. They can be used for small sized rooms, or in education, they can also be used in classrooms. The purpose is to make sure that remote users, such as students at home, are included in the meeting or lesson. The old licensing for Microsoft Teams rooms was Teams Standard and Teams Premium. If you have any of those, they will carry on working until the end of your agreement. Then there's some new licenses available. So if you're starting off with Teams rooms licensing, Then there's Teams Room Basic, and the good news here is you get 25 of licenses of that free of charge. If you want the additional functionality in Teams Pro, or if you need more than 25 licenses, then you have to go for Teams Pro anyway. So you can add Teams Pro licenses on top of your 25, should I say. The Pro license includes features like audio and video, functionality for things like auto framing of the speaker if you're in a meeting room with intelligent cameras that can zoom in on different users. It also includes whiteboarding and management and security. Mark has put a link in that gives you more information on this. Finally, and maybe most importantly, if you are using Teams Rooms equipment, Microsoft will be blocking the use of user licenses in Microsoft Teams. So what I mean by this is, if you have certified Microsoft Teams Room devices and have assigned them an A1 or A3 license for Teams, they will stop working on the 1st of July. And you will need to purchase one of the above licenses to get it working again. Okay, so just a slide showing you some of the updates in Teams that have been announced. Firstly, one of the most important ones, and it's not on the slide, Microsoft are rebuilding Teams from the ground up. So hopefully this should give a more robust and responsive platform for everyone. Teams calling is the feature used in Teams for your telephony system, and there are new updates if you've got desktops for the Teams certified devices. Meetings and webinars, some cool new features such as automatically lowering of raised hands after a user has spoken, and reminder emails. So if you set up a Teams meeting or a webinar like this, it will automatically send reminders out to users. Then there's some new devices that have been certified by Microsoft. One of the cool ones is Yealink's all-in-one large screen device, which includes cameras and speakers. Okay, we've covered this one, but VLSC migration. So VLSC migration, I just thought I'd remind you about it because this is one of the issues or frustrations a lot of you have with Microsoft is access to the VLSC. So they've started migrating VLSC functionality since the start of April. The functionality they've transferred is software downloads and keys, which is probably what you use the volume licensing center most for. So these have been moved to the Microsoft 365 Admin Center. So you will just sign in there as you would do normally to administer your Office 365 tenancy. But and if you go to the billing tab and then to your products and volume licensing, and then to downloads and keys, you can get all your downloads and keys from that link. So just something to be aware of. And if you do go to the VLSC, I think there is a link in there to take you to here anyway, just as a reminder. So I'm going to finish off with Copilot. So I'm going to talk about Microsoft 365 Copilot. Well, I'm sure you've all heard about it based on recent announcements. Well, what is it? It's basically AI built on top of a large language model based on ChatGPT and the Microsoft Graph. So the integration of Microsoft Graph is very important because it, when you use it within the apps like Word, for instance, you can ask it to do things like create a proposal for you. It will use data that you have access to within your Microsoft Graph. The importance of that is that the graph uses the permission set within your Office 365 tenancy to make sure that users don't get access to information, management information, for instance, that is sensitive. So it keeps your privacy model in place. It also includes business chat, and this is a natural language chat that allows you to ask it to do things like give you project updates based on today's emails, today's chats and documents, for instance. What do we know about Copilot? Not a lot, really. The problem is it's in private preview, and up until the start of May, only 20 customers had access to it. At the start of May, this has been increased to 600, but there's still some of the largest customers out there. So there's still not too much we know apart from what is generally available on the Microsoft website. What we do know is that there's going to be several versions of Copilot. So there's Copilot for Microsoft 365, which will work with your Microsoft 365 apps. But there will be Copilot for Defender, which will be a single product that works across all the Defender suite to provide you artificial intelligence to bring issues to your attention. And then there's Copilot for Viva, Copilot for Dynamics 365. Yesterday at Microsoft's Build conference, they introduced Windows, Copilot for Windows, and they also mentioned that there will be up to 20 Copilot products. When will we get more information? I don't know. My gut feeling is Microsoft has got their main partner conference at the start of July. We might get more information here, but general availability of the product where it's available, I don't see that much before the end of the year. Yeah, the other thing, we don't know how it be licensed. Will it be included in A3 or 5? Will it be a premium add-on? There's no information on that, the same as with release dates. Okay, that's me, and I've probably just got it in on time. Before we go to any questions, I'd like to bring to your attention next month's webinar, and Mark's added a link in there for you to register if you want. Next month, we'll go back to the regular format, and our guest presenter will be from Veeam, and they'll discuss the latest products such as Azure Backup, the latest version of backup and replication, and the Veeam data platform. Okay, any questions? Anything in chat, Mark?
Yeah, one has literally just come through from Mac. So does this map across to E3 and E5? So I'm not sure if that's in relation to the Copilot at the end.
Well, from an E3 or E5 perspective, they are commercial SKUs or charity SKUs. The functionality within them tends to be the same as A3 or A5. So yes, I'm expecting it to be similar there. So E3 or E5 are commercial licenses and will cost you more. A3 and A5 are academic licenses, and obviously you've got a better price point. And with A3 and A5, things like remote help will be in A3, but in E3 and E5, they are a paid product. So Microsoft do give education, additional functionality, as well as better pricing.
Perfect, thank you. There's no other questions at the moment. So if there are any more, you're welcome to send them through. I know we're sort of a couple of minutes over, so apologies for that. But yeah, there was plenty to get through there. But yeah, any final questions, you're welcome to send them through now, or you can follow up after the webinar as well. That's all good.